return, more on Vanessa Atler, her past troubles, and her next event, perhaps her best one, the vault. Vanessa Atler is a gymnastics enigma. For the past few years, very few have shown more raw talent. Atler was good enough to share the U.S. National Championship 2 years ago, but gymnastics is far more than just physical ability. Mental toughness, being able to focus on each apparatus throughout an entire competition, is just as important. And Atler has struggled with that, especially on the uneven bars. Her battle with the bars has kept her from achieving the success many predicted and expected from her. Those problems, in part, prompted her to leave her longtime coach, Steve Rybacki, and move to Texas to train. Starting fresh, Atler is still reaching to fulfill her golden promise, and this competition may be a turning point. Following ankle surgery and time off to recuperate, she is attempting to compete in all 4 events for the first time in a long time. The gymnastics world is watching her closely.
It's Vanessa Atler.
A lot of talk in the gymnastic world that this young lady might just be able to bring home a medal for the U.S. at the Olympics in Sydney in vaulting. She is dynamic here. Vanessa Atler.
Wow. That was incredible. Beautiful Yurchenko double full. Very difficult vault.
When she's on, Vanessa Atler makes the difficult look pretty easy. Her time off because of injuries may have given her back the motivation she needs.
It was hard, but I think it was good because it made me miss gymnastics, you know, and it made me want to come out there and just, you know, miss flipping and want to do all my stuff back together, miss competing and all the audience and everything. So that's why I'm excited to get back, you know, getting going again. So.
And here goes Vanessa with vault number 2.
She said she'd like to be a sports psychologist. Well, let's see if she has her head together for her second vault. Oh! Now, Amanda, this is a tough vault to land in general, the laid out handspring front.
A front landing period is very difficult. It's a blind landing. You can't see the ground before it hits you. And I think with that vault, you have to have enough rotation to be able to get your entire body rotated before you hit the ground. And what happened with her is her feet were still a little bit in front of her, just not enough to keep her on her feet.
One of Vanessa's 2 new coaches there to explain what went wrong on that second vault. As a coach, Mary Lee Tracy is in charge of 3 athletes tonight, all with Olympic chances, all with different needs. They are the Cincinnati Kids, and despite their differences, they are a close-knit group. Alyssa Beckerman, Morgan White, and Dominique Moceanu. Moceanu, here with sister Christina, is the most well-known of the 3.
When I was, you know, 14, I was all struck by it all, you know, the whole, it was just, you know, overwhelming and young and, you know, fun, and I didn't know, you know, what it meant. I didn't know, you know, what I was doing it for. I just did it because I had fun. I went out there and smiled, and because I loved it. 4 years later, you know, I'm an adult, handling my own life now, handling my own bills, you know, living the adult life and, you know, the everyday life, as well as training 6-7 hours a day, and you know, this is my life again, but yet it's so much different.
And now Dominique Moceanu, older, wiser, much taller too, is attempting to work around all that's been going on in her life and rededicate herself to the demands and long hours of practice top-level gymnastics requires. Coach Mary Lee Tracy says Dominique has been nervous all night, and nerves are a gymnast's nightmare.
Well, one of a select few athletes in the world who has graced the cover of a Wheaties box along with you, Amanda Borden, is Dominique Moceanu here on the beam.
Oh. She needs a solid routine here. This is a new flight series. Round off layout. No.
Moceanu has appeared nervous all night, and those nerves finally betray her on the beam. Remember, she has not competed in 2 years, and the pressure of competition is enormous, even more so when an Olympic spot is at stake. Where is the confidence an Olympic veteran should have?
I can see a little bit of doubt. She seems to look like she's hitting her skills and then doubting the finish. This is the event, and you've taken 2 years off that you doubt yourself quite a bit on.
Just recently starting to get in the kind of conditioning physically that she needs to be to do the difficult elements. Perhaps she just doesn't have enough routines under her belt.
Well, I know that she's only been training with Mary Lee since January, and that's when she started this getting back in shape. So she's only have about 6 months under her belt, and she's doing a great job dealing with it.
It looks to me, though, that the potential is there. The elements are there. Physically, she's in the kind of fitness and conditioning level that she needs to do the high-level routines. Perhaps, as you mentioned, the confidence is the only thing lacking.
Bart mentioned in the beginning that balance beam is the one event that will test the nerves of these gymnasts. And tonight, at least, Dominique Moceanu's nerves have failed her on the beam.
Beam makes or breaks you. It just does. If you're going to be nervous, that's not the place, because it's hard to cover mistakes on the beam. I mean, one little drop of your shoulder, you know, one little wiggle of your hand, one little release of your stomach muscles, and you can be on the floor and lose 5/10. Dominique said she wasn't very nervous going into beam, but once she got up there, she was very nervous, and she was ahead of herself. I mean, she was not, her mind and her body were not in the same place when she was on beam. She was very disappointed.
Disappointed, but no time to dwell. Moceanu has her floor exercise to prepare for. Next to prepare for beam, the one gymnast Mary Lee Tracy says needs to concentrate and focus the most.
Another one of these Cincinnati kids. This is Alyssa Beckerman. Had a 9.625 on the uneven bars, and this, the balance beam, is an event where she can really show her finesse and polish.
She's a beautiful routine. Very elegant.
Beckerman's elegant look helps her on this event, but the trick on beam is to look elegant and complete the difficult skills.
Oh, boy.
Oh, a fall like that can affect Beckerman for the rest of the night. She must concentrate on the rest of this routine.
She was a member of the U.S. team at the World Championships in China in '99.
Here's Ms. Atler.
She actually didn't get to compete in that competition because she had a fracture in her wrist. So she doesn't have the World Championship experience that some of the other athletes have.
Beckerman's inexperience in major competitions like World Championships can affect her. With experience comes the focus and intensity she struggles with. Remember, so much is on the line for a gymnast such as Alyssa Beckerman, and there's so little room for error.
Alyssa's got to get over this gotta fall one time thing. She does beautiful beam, but it gets even more beautiful after she gets that one fall out of her body, you know, out of her mind. Alyssa started off really strong. I really thought it was going to be a hit routine just because she was standing up tall and she just had that look in her face. She has this look when she's intense and focused. And I thought it was going to be a hit, and then this layout, she just kind of dumped off the side. Then the rest of the routine was exquisite. It was absolutely beautiful.
Morgan White, the third Cincinnati kid who had her best beam routine ever, is now in second place and will finish with floor exercise. Vanessa Atler is in the lead, but her last event is uneven bars, and she's pacing already. We'll be back.